Nestled in the picturesque village of Minall, Wiltshire, St John the Baptist Church stands as a testament to centuries of architectural and cultural heritage. With its origins tracing back to the Norman period, this historic parish church continues as a beacon of history and faith in the Kennet Valley. We have visited many beautiful churches in the Wiltshire area, including the nearby church of Ramsbury with its anglo-saxon stones. Link to that video in the description below. But is this the most beautiful church of Wiltshire? Well, according to John Betjeman, who was a celebrated British poet, writer and broadcaster, best known as a champion for English heritage and culture, sadly passed away in 1984 at the age of 78, he thought it possibly was. John Betjeman wrote, "Of all the churches which remained untouched by the Victorians, the loveliest I know is that of Minall, pronounced Minall, near Marlborough. It stands in the Kennet water meadows, a simple 4-squared affair, tower, nave and aisles either side and a chancel. When you approach it you begin to see signs of the past, clear glass panels, patched and flaked outside walls, looking like an old watercolour." John Betjeman described walking into the church like walking straight into a Jane Austen novel. He also adds that it's not simply that it is an old building that makes this church so beautiful. There are thousands of old churches. It is that it contains all the Georgian fittings. Though the date is 1816, the style and quality of workmanship is that of 50 years earlier. A 10th century document from Glastonbury Abbey claims that lands were held here since 804 AD, but it's a little unsure if there was a church on the site. It could have been merely landholding, which was a source of wealth. The fabric of the nave was built around 1170s. There is a triangular shaped aperture at the base of the tower which may be 11th century Anglo-Saxon, built just before the Norman conquest of 1066. The Domesday Book of 1086 records the area was held by the Edward of Salisbury with Glastonbury Abbey tenant-in-chief. The church showcases a blend of architectural styles that reflect its long history. The earliest elements, dating to the 12th century, reveal Norman craftsmanship, particularly visible in the stone arches and robust masonry. Over the centuries, Gothic influences were introduced, evident in the pointed arches and the elegant windows. These additions harmonise with the original structure, creating a visual narrative of changing architectural tastes. The exterior of the church is constructed from local limestone, a material that has weathered the centuries gracefully. A distinctive square tower rises from the structure, a hallmark of many traditional English parish churches. The porch was built in medieval times, and I didn't know that in medieval times weddings were often held at the church door, a tradition reflecting both religious and legal significance. This practice took place at the entrance to the church, symbolising the transition from the secular life to a sacred union. The church door ceremony served as a public declaration of marriage, where the priest blessed the couples and conducted the initial rites in the presence of the community. Witnesses were essential to validate the union, emphasising the communal and legal aspects of the marriage contract. After the vows, the couple might proceed into the church for nuptial mass, linking their bond to the divine grace. But it's the inside where visitors are greeted by a serene and historical ambience. The first thing I found striking when entering is the box pews, installed around 1816. There is some remnants of medieval wall painting, hinting at the vibrant decoration that once adorned the church. On one of the aisle pillars you will find a saint, thought to be holding a long scroll. Hard to make out. It was found when the lime wash was removed. Looking around, there are a few other medieval wall paintings, giving us a glimpse of how colourful this church once was. Medieval wall paintings in churches was an essential aspect of religious and cultural life. These vibrant artworks, often painted directly onto plaster walls, depicted biblical stories and saints. They were designed to educate and inspire congregations, many of whom were illiterate. By visualizing conveying Christian teaching. Despite their significance, many of these paintings were lost or whitewashed during the Reformation, though some have been rediscovered and restored, offering a glimpse into the artistic and priorities of the Middle Ages. Visiting this church, I had learned so much about things I never heard of, like the lich gate. Most churches have them. The word lich survived into modern English from the Old English or Saxon word for corpse. In medieval times, parishioners would bring a coffin on the parish cart to the gate, where the priest would sprinkle holy water and would burn incense to bless the corpse, while prayers were being said. This is why lich gates had roofs to shelter the mourners. The body would then be moved to its final resting place. If you were wealthy, you may find your resting place would be in the church, while the more poorer were buried in the graveyard. But what I did not know, and had to look this up, but in the medieval times it seems that your body would have remained in the grounds for about 3 to 4 years, when at that point the body would be dug up and bones stored in the charnel house to wait until the Day of Judgment. It seems that charnel houses were common in England primarily before the Reformation, because they were associated with the Catholic Church. Using charnel houses fell out of practice after the Reformation to the point that people today barely knew they existed. I know I didn't. For example, during the 1950s, reconstruction of St Bride's Church in Fleet Street, London, a medieval chancel house was uncovered, containing an estimate of 7,000 human remains organised in a checkered board pattern. Some of the skulls were placed in linear arrangements, with the remaining of the human bones placed in a macabre-looking pile of bones. St John's the Baptist Church is not just an architectural gem, but a cornerstone of its community. Whether you are drawn to its history, its peaceful atmosphere, or its role in the life of the village, a visit to this remarkable church offers a glimpse into both the past and present of Wiltshire's spiritual heritage. But is this the most beautiful church in Wiltshire? I will let you decide. Thank you so much for watching and supporting my channel. I truly appreciate every single one of you. Whether you're a viewer, subscriber, Patreon supporter or channel member, your continued encouragement and generosity means the world to me and allows me to keep creating content we are passionate about. I couldn't do this without you, and I'm so grateful to have such an amazing community. Thank you for being part of this journey. And until the next time, stay safe.